Today we're going to go through the GTA 5 story missions and see what changed. Now this is all from the GTA 5 wiki, and I feel like there was a lot more changes to certain missions, but we just don't know what they were. So starting with Prologue, there are some objectives that were either completely removed or were replaced by a cutscene. So firstly, the most well-known one is the fact that we were meant to set the server room on fire, probably in a similar way to how we do so in the Crystal Maze mission with the O'Neill brothers house. As for the objectives replaced with cutscenes, we were originally meant to grab the hostage as part of an objective. Now I don't really know which hostage specifically, but it would have been interesting to see gameplay of that. Now on to Franklin and Lamar. This mission was originally supposed to take place at night, and the cars that Franklin and Lamar stole had different license plates on them. There's a screenshot of this and it's on screen right now for those of you that actually feel like going into the game and comparing it, because I fucking don't, I'll be honest. In the repossession mission, Franklin and Lamar were meant to repossess a different type of bike, and the last cutscene we saw take place at the car wash in the original was actually supposed to take place outside of Franklin's house instead. Now for a really well-known one. During complications, Franklin had to climb the vines next to that white truck, and of course we all know that whole animation was made up for this part, and we were actually supposed to control Franklin, climbing up those vines and whatnot, but instead in the final version, all we got as a remnants of this was the animation of Franklin climbing through the open window. As for the mission Chop, supposedly there's a picture where it's shown that Chop was meant to wear a pink collar compared to a green one. Now for something a little bit more interesting, in the long stretch mission, according to Sean Fontino, Franklin's voice actor, it was actually Franklin who was supposed to kill D and not Stretch. I imagine that this was done for story purposes in order for the whole Stretch setting up Lamar multiple times thing to make more sense later on down the line, since Stretch in the original offered up Lamar, who started this whole thing as a peace offering. This mission, the long stretch, was also originally supposed to start in the middle of the night instead of the evening like it did in the original, and also Stretch did not wear a hat during this mission back during the game's development. The mission Father-Son originally featured some more traffic during the chase, and the color of the truck towing Michael's boat was also changed sometime during development, and the trailer itself that had the boat on it was supposed to be a different kind of trailer than the one we got in the original. Friend Request was originally meant to be split into two different missions, the first one having been called Friend Request, just like we got it in the original, and it was to feature Michael going to the Life Invader office, ringing the phone and putting the bomb in it and whatnot, and the other one which was meant to be called Selling Short, where Michael actually detonated the bomb and blew up Mark Zuckerberg's head and whatnot. As for the jewel store job, there aren't many changes here. There are some outfit changes though for Michael, and also the cops were meant to have some different cars during that final chase in that mission. Nervous Ron was meant to take place during a thunderstorm, however in the original the weather is a lot more clear, and people tend to speculate that this was done just because of the fact that players at this point in the story weren't as skilled as flying planes at this game, so they decided to make it a little bit easier on us. Thanks Rockstar. During the shootout at Trevor's meth lab, Chef was supposed to give Trevor some sticky bombs with the grenade launcher he gets. Of course in the original there were meant to be some sticky bombs as well, however we never get those in that mission. During the mission Crystal Maze, as shown in one of the early game trailers, Trevor was meant to use a Molotov on the ranch instead of pouring gasoline all over the place like you do in the original. Friends Reunited also saw a change, and in this mission Trevor was actually meant to take Ron to Los Santos with him instead of Wade. So I guess that part was changed due to the whole storyline of Wade reuniting with his cousin Floyd and whatnot, which then of course leads up to the Merryweather heist. Real quick though, if you're enjoying this video so far, leave a like on it and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 3K subs before GTA 6, so let's go ahead and try to make that happen. The Merryweather heist was apparently changed severely, although I can't really find anything about the whole thing. I have heard things that it was supposed to be completely different, however I literally can't find shit for the life of me. If you guys have any info, leave it in the comments below. In Hood Safari, the trio of Franklin, Trevor, and Lamar were meant to wear bandanas. During the Blitz Play mission, instead of blocking the road with a tow truck, we were originally meant to use an ambulance. The color of the car that Franklin uses during saying I fought the law was originally gray compared to the red one that we saw in the final version. As for the mission Eye in the Sky, we can see in, I believe this is Trevor's trailer, when he just yeets the pilot out of the helicopter and has him fall to the ground and die. This was not seen in the final game, but it was referenced when you switch to Trevor after this mission. Trevor says, "I hope it was a soft landing," strongly implying that the pilot is in fact dead. We just didn't see it on screen. And Cata Libre, Franklin was meant to go with Michael for that whole thing with Martin Madrazo instead of Trevor, and the original plan for this whole mini arc was for Michael and Trevor to rob Martin's house in a well-known deleted heist known as the Sharmmuta job, in which you had 3 separate approaches. You could do the night stealth approach, which I feel like would be something close to the FIB rooftop approach, maybe high impact, which was probably something aggressive, I'm not really sure, and Clown Day Stealth, where Michael and Trevor were meant to pose as clowns who are there to entertain guests, or rather rob Mark Madrazo, but that's besides the point. And also, after this, they were meant to kidnap Patricia just like in the original, but she was meant to be kept at some sort of barn, I feel like I heard somewhere. Not too sure about that, please confirm that or deny it in the comments. The Paleto score also saw some extensive changes, but this time, unlike the Merriweather heist, I at least have some info as to what was meant to be different. So this heist originally had 2 options you could play, and one of them actually involved Franklin rescuing the crew in a tank. That would have been wild to see. The crew originally wore masks instead of helmets during the shootout scene outside of the bank. It was also planned for Franklin to go in with Michael and Trevor and be right there alongside of them when the robbery is taking place, instead of the gunman who goes in with them in the original. Also, it was supposed to take place at night instead of when it's daylight out. In Pac-Man, specifically in the part of the mission where you use the JB-700 to shoot some cops, in the original it takes place up on Paleto Bay. However, it was meant to take place in the Davis area in South Los Santos, likely around the Grove Street area, which I get why it was changed, because I don't think it would make much sense for the crew to be taking the cars around to there. Just my thought, I don't know. Another well-known change is that during the mission cleaning at the bureau, Michael was meant to brutally kill the janitor and take his stuff, and the community widely agrees on the fact that this was changed because it would feel out of character for Michael, sounding like something that Trevor would do instead of Michael. During the mission Legal Trouble, Molly was supposed to die in some other unknown way. I couldn't really find how, and the one that was meant to be killed by a jet engine was actually Tao Chang's translator, which was supposed to happen during a cut mission with Trevor. That said, I want to thank you for watching this video about some GTA 5 mission changes. Leave your thoughts and opinions on this topic in the comments down below. Do you know of any other mission changes that I completely forgot to mention or I just couldn't find? Please do leave them down in the comments and we'll talk about it down there. Until next video stream, bye bye.